We've all been worried about Masters of the Universe Revelation and what Kevin Smith and Netflix were going to do with this show. I think that we all wanted it to be great, but with the way that Hollywood's been, we all expected the worst, and it seems that the media outlets who got the chance to see the show early were able to post their spoiler-filled reviews, and all of our worries have basically been confirmed. Spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't really want to know anything about the plot or the show early. I haven't seen it yet, but a ton of spoiler-filled reviews are spreading across the internet, and it doesn't look good for Masters of the Universe, as it's no longer really about He-Man, and he was pushed to the side to focus on other characters. It is the Teela show, and to no one's surprise, Kevin Smith lied about basically everything surrounding this project. But before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you really do enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I want to start off with this Cosmic Book News article. It says, He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelation is the Teela show, says reviews. The first trailer for the show actually looked like it was focused on He-Man, but of course we all expected it to be a bait and switch because the follow-up trailers were really focused on Teela. But it says, as the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe Revelation series is set to debut on Netflix this Friday, early reviews are starting to trickle in to where it is said to be all about Teela and not He-Man. This is so disappointing because while yes, Teela was a big part of Masters of the Universe originally, the show was about He-Man. We wanted this show to be about He-Man. It's not supposed to be drastically different. But it says IGN has released an early review where they offer He-Man gets put on the back burner for Teela, which is pretty much what everybody thought was going to happen, though Kevin Smith denied all of the rumors and said it was a He-Man show. It says Prince Adam and He-Man, voiced by Supergirl's Chris Wood, are important, but they really serve as a backdrop, in a manner similar to how Max acts as a lesser lead to Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road. Revelation draws upon the might and majesty of He-Man to facilitate others' arcs. Basically, this is Teela's show. This to me is so disappointing to hear because I went into this hoping it really was going to be a He-Man show. I know that the title doesn't have He-Man in it anymore, so that is the kind of the biggest giveaway that it isn't really just about He-Man anymore, but I wanted this to be a good show. I didn't want this to fail and be awful and terrible and kind of ruin nostalgia for everyone, but unfortunately, we can't expect anyone in Hollywood to respect properties they're reviving just to make money off of. So it says the official Netflix site for Masters of the Universe Revelation even describes the show as using Teela and doesn't mention He-Man at all. Kevin Smith tried to tell us, you guys just won't understand the full scope of the show until you've seen it yourself. There's a lot of twists and turns, but it seems like he was just lying yet again. This show isn't really about He-Man. I understand fully well what this show is going to be about, and most of us do now. It is the Teela show. But it says over at Rotten Tomatoes, Revelation currently sits at a 94% fresh rating, but a lot of the reviews hint something big happens that fans won't like. In one of the trailers, we saw Teela fighting He-Man, and He-Man had super red glowing eyes, so it's easy to assume that the twist is that he goes bad or something happens. We don't really know. Maybe he's being mind controlled. But it says Masters of the Universe Revelation subverts expectations, and because of this, it may not land with everyone. Part 1's shock factor will leave fans grasping for air, and while its twists are dramatic, and are more likely to cause some impotent nerd rage, this series also offers a bold new direction for both new and old fans alike. This is such a shame to hear because I just wanted a good experience out of this, but gender swaps, tokenism, and erasing white men so they don't shadow the women isn't good storytelling. It never was and it never will be, yet people in Hollywood have such little creativity in their pea-sized brains that they think this is what people really want to see. This show is basically a massive checklist bingo and plenty plenty of people are saying this now. Let's go over to the Verge article. It says Netflix's Master of the Universe erases the past to chart a new future. Now, I don't really care about this journalist's quote-unquote opinion. They basically say that She-Ra was a much better show than He-Man, but I did want to tell you all what it says for the spoilers in it. It says, because it's a direct sequel, Revelation wastes no time in setting things up. Immediately, Skeletor is in the midst of a plan to destroy Castle Grayskull in order to reveal its true power so that he can harness it for himself. Unfortunately, his attack has the potential side effect of not only destroying the planet of Eternia, but also all of existence. The ensuing battle between the two iconic leads largely removes them from the story and shifts the focus to other characters. I don't know why studios in Hollywood are so afraid of keeping attractive women attractive and why they're so afraid to just let men be the focus of shows. So many people are gonna watch this for nostalgia, so just give us a good story with the characters that we love. I think that they're banking on this show drawing in a new audience and they want people with nostalgia to just boost up the viewership, but I think that this show is gonna face a ton of backlash now that we've seen more of Kevin Smith's lies be called out. I want to head over to the Discussing Films article where they talk about their thoughts on the show because they basically say, yeah, Teela is kind of the protagonist. So it says this sincerity in Kevin Smith's writing is without a doubt the greatest strength of this series, a large part of which is the shift of focus from He-Man and his adventures over to Teela. Whilst Teela was more of a secondary character in the original 80s show, she is front and center as Kevin Smith's undeniable protagonist for this series. So it is confirmed, this is the Teela show. I didn't want to watch the Teela show, I wanted to watch He-Man Masters of the Universe, but unfortunately, I guess we all can't get what we really want out of Hollywood. And I wanted to read this tweet really quickly from Viking Out of Time. It says, Grace Randolph on her early review of Masters of the Universe Revelation, there's a lack of strong male lead or strong male supporting characters, and I guess that sums it up, right? A boys' show with the main character called He-Man lacks strong male characters. Let that sink in. This is so disappointing to hear. I want to see He-Man. I want He-Man to be a giant part of this, not for him to be the villain, not for him to be cast aside to make way for strong independent women. I just want to see He-Man, and unfortunately, we're not really gonna get that out of the show. I know they're trying to make it seem like, oh my gosh, we represent all different kinds of people in the show. We represent, women, men, people of color, whatever. But if you're not providing a good story, no one's going to want to watch this, and I think that they are going to face a ton of backlash over this. People are saying things like, not a shocker, bait and switch calling it, and I also put out a little poll on Twitter saying, will you watch Masters of the Universe, the Teela show? And 9.7% said yes, and 90.3% said no, out of 267 votes. I personally was planning on giving this show a shot. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to try to see if there was anything that could be salvaged out of it because I think that the animation looks really good. I think the voice acting cast is really good, but it just sounds like the story is not going to be there. Somebody said no, but not for the hate everyone seems to be piling on. I won't because I have continued my refusal to give Netflix any support whatsoever. Someone said just like Black Widow, not even worth pirating to waste my time. Somebody said I was gonna give it a shot since the animation looks great, but now that the lie's been confirmed, I'm not sure anymore. This is how a lot of people are feeling. This is personally how I'm feeling. Somebody said, even if I wanted to, I don't have Netflix anymore, and oh, I definitely gotta see what they did with it. Over the past couple of months, I've talked about a ton of He-Man rumors and Kevin Smith saying, no, everyone's overreacting, but we heard information from Clownfish that He-Man was gonna be sidelined for Teela, that the show was gonna be focused on her, and Kevin Smith said, no, that's not true, this show isn't woke at all, but of course, it was a lie, because the show seems to be exactly what Clownfish said it was gonna be. I'm really disappointed to hear this, a lot of people are too, and I think there are gonna be so many people who are gonna give Netflix the finger and not watch the show now that we really know what it's all about. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Do you plan to watch it or are you passing on it? If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.